But she didn't like what the guy said, so she stopped seeing the therapist because he was telling her the truth. Hi, May. I'm Basic Black here. Got some things that I want to get off my chest. First, let me say thanks to AlexiJewelry.com. Awesome. Some of the makeup is from an upcoming line, so be ready. And I think that's it. I really wish I had some music in the background, but I'm trying to do things for free, so free stuff comes with commercials, and I just don't feel like being interrupted by some commercial that's jacking up my groove. All right, so excuse me. The first thing I want to talk about, well, the thing that I want to talk about right now is this show that I watched on Netflix called Sex Life. I'm trying to think of what to say and what not to say, so you'll figure me out as we continue to go along. So I watched this show called Sex Life, and let's see, I'm trying to nutshell it. It's basically about this woman who was a party girl, and then she met the right man, they got married, had children, but then somewhere in the course of their, let's see, the oldest is 4 or 5. So somewhere in these 4 or 5 years, by the time the story picks up, she's starting to have, and naturally when I'm recording, life is still going on. She starts having like a I don't know if we want to call it a crisis. She's not middle-aged, but she is in her 30s. So, and I believe middle age starts about 40, 45 or something like that. So she's not middle-aged, but she's been married a bit, and things are getting a little stale, sex-wise. Oh yeah, let me say, this is not for children. So kids should not be watching this because I'm going to talk about some stuff. So sex-wise, things have gotten boring, and she was really sexually active before she got married. And so, and when she and her husband met, they were sexually active. And then along the way with kids, and he's working, she's not working because they decided together that she was going to stay home and take care of the kids full time so that they have some kind of foundation. And I get that part. I was a stay-at-home mom for a little while. But things are starting to get a little boring in the sex department. They'll get ready they're like all steamed up, and then one of them have to use the bathroom, the other one, and then they come back and the other one's asleep or something. So excuse me, nothing really bothers me up until the camera comes on. So with that, she starts thinking about this one particular boyfriend she had that just blew her mind, rocked her world. But the only thing about this guy is that he was kind of volatile. And I think probably from a mental health aspect that he could have been abusive. And then there's a whole backstory for that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So I come in, the audience comes in, she's having this crisis, she's starting to write about this guy that she was in love with, and she just loved this guy. He broke her heart, she did her best to move on, she met her husband, who is, okay, so the guy who rocked her world, decent looking, hung like a horse. And the guy is good looking. He's Australian, so that kind of, for whatever reason, accents can be sexy. So with him having this accent and a decent body, he's kind of thin for me, but a decent body, but he's hung, which is like they show the pan down in a shower scene. I'm like, God dang, woo, kind of like Crixus. Oh, okay, I get it. That's why you act like you do, because. Anyway, so then, and you see her husband good looking guy, well built, mm, a bit bigger, like just not bulky, but the bigger than the guy she was in love with. So they like the body type. So it's like a thin, lean guy, and then there's a more muscular guy. So her husband is more muscular, and like I said, he's good looking, and he's a really nice guy. A really nice guy. It's like he's cute and nice, so it's like bonus. Um, but she's, like I said, things got boring, and she starts fantasizing or remembering about how things were. She goes, as she's remembering, she's trying to be fair. Blah blah blah. Okay, so now what I want to talk about. Hopefully that gives you some backdrop. You can watch it if you want, but I wanted to kind of set the scene set the context. I hope for what I'm going to talk about this show and about particularly this character. I don't remember her name. I don't remember any of their names. It's just the woman, the ex, and the husband kind of thing. And then there's a best friend involved too, who I'm glad that that the entertainment industry is starting to recognize that her best friend is black. That black women come in more than just one shade and one hair type. And I'll do my best to leave that alone because that part's really important to me as a viewer, to see people who... Anyway, so the thing that gets me about this woman is that through the course of the show, she finds out that the ex has been trying to get back with her or talk to her, so on and so forth. And she does this thing like those teenage dramas where it's like, no, we can't, but I miss you so much and I want to be with you, and well, I love my husband and I love my children, I can't sacrifice my family for you, oh, but touch me, feel me, caress me, blah blah blah, right? And then circumstances come up, her husband ends up meeting the ex. And then there's a whole thing right there. And then so the husband does some stupid stuff, which kind of gets him into some trouble for himself. Kind of not necessarily with them, but... So she starts texting the guy, the ex, and meeting with him on the sly. And she's like having full-blown fantasies. Not really fantasies, but she's like in full-blown flashback mode to where... she kind of blacks out and forgets where she is, even with her children. And she's with friends and these new friends. Oh my! Anyway, I'm trying to stay on point. So in the end, my problem with this character, which tends to be my problem with other people, and then also let me say that I do my best not to be judgmental. I do my best because I grew up. Me. I'm the one who became a judgmental person. And but there's a scripture, basically don't judge people because the way you judge people is the way you're going to be judged. So that being said, I remember being really harsh towards people, but I don't want people to be harsh towards me. So do unto others kind of thing. No, not kind of thing. Do unto others. So I do my best not to be judgmental because I don't want anybody judging me. I don't think I have well, I kind of do. Yeah. I have some remnants. Anyway, I have morals, but I try not to be condescending, self-righteous. I try not to be self-righteous because that ends up being judgmental, and I don't want to be judged by those standards, by whatever standards I put out there that's harsh towards somebody else. I don't want that. So I'm saying all that so that to let you know that I may say some things, and it's not that I'm trying to come from a mean place or a judgmental place. I'm just saying that for me, this is the problem that I had, and the industry puts stuff out there. They're putting things out there for conversation so that people can kind of get to know yourself and get to know other people. So with that, and I've done some things in my past. So I'm not Charlotte, because she got on my nerves. So I'm not Charlotte. Like, oh, I just don't do that. Yeah, I did that. so, so I try not to come off as that, but there are just some things that just doesn't make sense to me. So with this woman, she's in the end, I call it cake, where you want everything, but you can't have everything depending on who you're with. So this is the thing. So there are people who are in like really open relationships, but they have an agreement with each other that, okay, you can see other people, but I need to know that you're seeing other people, because once you start sneaking to see other people, now you're cheating on me. It works for them. I understand it for the most part, because I've become the type of person, like, I don't know that I'd be necessarily opposed to an open relationship, where the guy and I are the primary, and then if we see somebody that we're attracted to, we let each other know that I'm attracted to that person. I'm thinking about this. What do you mind? Would you mind? Kind of thing. So, and I hear people like, what? Well, yeah, I'm But with this woman, there was a scene where the husband was just like, you know what, F it, let's just do this with another woman. He didn't ask, and so it happened, and the woman got upset, and I'm looking at her like, what do you expect this man to do? You're telling him one thing, but your actions are showing something completely different, and you won't talk to him. He's trying to understand what you're going through, but you won't talk to him. What is he left to think? Now, not that what he did was right, but if she went to meet her ex and didn't tell her husband, and the husband found out that she went behind his back to see this guy, what is he supposed to think? And she's like, nothing happened. Well, how do I know that? Because you're crying. You're acting guilty. So you're acting like you did something. So how am I supposed to feel? What am I supposed to think? I feel like I'm in this by myself, because you're trying to chase this man who where was he for all this time, kind of thing. So, but she repeats this like every episode. It's, we can't be together. Oh, I want to be with you so bad. And her husband is he shouldn't have done this, because that, wow, like there's a saying like, don't ask questions you don't want answers to. But if you need the answers, you have to ask the questions, even if the answer to the question you already know is a hard thing to actually hear, or it's a hard thing to actually see. So all of that, she gets upset with her husband about what he did, but he's not supposed to be upset with her about what she's doing. And she gets upset with him because he's just really stressed out, so he doesn't know what to do. So he starts just hanging out after work, not coming home. Not saying that that's right, but he doesn't know. He's trying to figure things out on his own because she's not giving him anything. And she is like, well, why didn't you come home? What am I coming home to? You get upset with me whenever I try to talk to you about this guy, and so I don't know what to do. I'm trying to figure things out. And like, you're breaking my heart. All right. And she's all like, I'm so sorry. And I tune her out sometimes because the crying gets on my nerves. And I'm a crier, see that? And that's when you start seeing like, oh, that's me. Oh, crap. Okay, so I need to fix that about myself because I don't like it on other people. So I need to fix me. Um, so and then by the end of the season, and I'm really interested in how the next season is going to be, and I commend the writers and the director and camera people and all the background people that make the actual story come together. Just like, wow, you guys did a good job, because my brain is like, so how is this going to work out, right? Because in the end, I don't want to give the end away, so I'm not going to tell you. But all that to say, but it's just it's the cake thing just really gets me. I knew someone who, in my personal life, who wanted everything. He wanted to be able to do whomever he wanted to do, whenever he wanted to do it. But when it came time for him to be responsible for his actions, he didn't want to face that I'm like, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, not unless you're willing to accept the consequences, because you're dealing with other people's lives and feelings and emotions. I know you, so what you're doing doesn't bother me, but it will bother somebody else, so you need to watch what you're doing, kind of thing. And that was kind of like what the best friend was saying, like, you need to just cut this off altogether, because this is going to hurt you in the end. And I care about you, I love you, so I want you to be careful about what you're doing. I know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing, this is what I'm gonna do. And my ex had said about Legends of the Fall that she got addicted to what the dick did. I was like, yeah, she did. Which is what happened with this woman. She had it bad for this dude. So that's my thing with this show, Sex Life. Is this woman in particular is just really getting on my nerves. And then that kind of translates to how women get portrayed in shows, where it's like they start off as these strong characters, and then they become these whining, crying, narcissistic idiots. And like, why do you do women like that? We're not all whining, crying, narcissistic idiots, but that's no more than what a man is, a whining, crying, narcissistic idiot sometimes. But a man's character never devolves. In fact, the man's character tends to evolve, whereas women characters, they devolve. Issue. But this woman was always kind of unstable. She needs help. She needs to see somebody. And she started seeing somebody, which was a cool thing. But she didn't like what the guy said, so she stopped seeing the therapist, because he was telling her the truth, and she didn't want to hear the truth, which is the cake part. I want to be able to do what I want to do, and I want everybody to accept what I'm doing. No, that's not going to happen. Everybody's not going to accept what you're doing, and you need to accept that. It's not fair. Well, it's not fair what you're doing. It's not fair to him, to your husband. And eventually it won't be fair to your children, because at some point that's gonna trickle down into, they're not blind, and they sure ain't deaf. So, oh wow, 19 minutes of rambling on about this woman. Okay, well, hopefully it didn't come across as rambling, but that was my thing about Sex Life, is that this whole cake thing just really irritated me to no end, because I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. I want it now, but you can't. In real life, you can't have it all. You can have a lot. And there we go. It depends on what all you want. Yeah, I think that's right. Let me know what you think about that part. Does it depend on what all you want? Is it possible to have your cake and eat it too? Let me know, because I don't think that it's possible. Not without the person or the people you say you care about getting hurt. Yeah. So let me know what you think, because I'm curious to know. It will help if you watch the show first. My weakness is binge watching. I'll sit through a show, and it's I think it's about 8 or 9 episodes. So I spent it took me 2 nights, because I made myself go to bed, because I'll stay up and I'll watch them all night, like those those commercials where they show people binge watching. They start off real clean, and then like after a month, they're like Sasquatches. House is filthy and they're nasty. They hadn't bathed or anything. Pizza boxes all over the place. I don't want to be that way, so I make myself get up and go to bed, or I make myself shut the TV off and go do something else for a little bit, and then I come back to it because I really want to finish the show. All right, so let me know what you think. Even if you don't want to watch it, based on the stuff that I've said, do you think I'm being too harsh? Do you think I'm spot on? Do you think I didn't go far enough? Hopefully I gave you enough context and enough information about this woman and the ex and the husband. So let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching. Made from Basic Black. BasicBlack.com. Please check out cloudswithin.com for your relaxing needs to get yourself centered. AlexiJewelry.com for some beautiful, beautiful pieces. All right, thanks for watching.